the symbol that we begin. Do you want to do it sideways? Or?
Yeah, you prefer it flatter?
Yeah. Should we start?
Hold on, let me just put my phone down because it's weighing down here.
All right. Good morning to everyone here in Fontainebleau, and good afternoon and good evening and good middle of the night to our guests tuning in from elsewhere. Thank you so much for joining us here at the graduation ceremony for the class of December 2021. My name is Haley Mahler.
And my name is Laura McGinnis, and we will be your Masters of Ceremony for our event today. And we have the honor of introducing you to our speakers and guiding you through our program.
We learned in organizational behavior that it's important to establish credibility for your audience. So our main credential for being your MCs here today is that Laura and I have hosted some of 21D's favorite events, including virtual trivia, multiple auctions, and the cabaret night at the grad party. And we promise that we are more sober now than we were at any of those events.
The Student Life team gave us a script for this event. However, they also told us that this will be the last time that students will be Masters of Ceremonies. So expect some jokes, and if we get replaced mid-ceremony, you'll know why.
We'd like to specifically acknowledge all the family and friends here in the room. Thank you so much for coming. For those who have recently tested positive for COVID, thank you for staying home. We know it's hard. We love you so much. We wish you were here and we miss you. We hope that everyone leaves here with positive memories and negative COVID tests.
We also want to shout out the family and friends who cannot be with us here today. If you're tuning in online, send your graduate a message and show them that you're rooting for them. We feel your love from afar, and we promise to recreate this moment under one condition the next time we see you, that you rent a chateau for us. We're particularly happy to be able to be here today in light of the COVID-19 situation in France and around the world. This has only been made possible thanks to the strict measures put in place for everyone's safety. To access the ceremony, everyone in attendance has presented a valid health pass and has been requested to self-test as a precautionary measure. Given the recent announcements in France, correct mask wearing is mandatory throughout the ceremony.
It is now my honor to introduce our first speaker, Dean of Degree Programs, Urs Peyer. I have fond memories of Laura and my first interaction with Urs. He was reprimanding us for having gotten fined for breaking the Fonty curfew. So us being here today is an important lesson that any relationship can be repaired and any reputation can be rebuilt. Either that or he didn't realize we were the same Haley and Laura. Urs Peyer is the Dean of Degree Programs and Associate Professor of Finance at INSEAD. He graduated with a PhD in Finance from the University of North Carolina and joined INSEAD in 2001 as a Professor of Finance before taking up the role of Dean of Degree Programs in 2014. His research interests are in the area of corporate governance and corporate finance. But Urs has not always been an academic, ladies and gentlemen. Before doing his PhD, he was a jet pilot in the Swiss Air Force. Please help me welcome to the podium, the Urs Peyer.
Thank you, Haley and Laura, for your kind introduction. Dear parents, partners, family members, friends, faculty, alumni, staff, it is my great pleasure to welcome you to the graduation ceremony of the INSEAD MBA class of December 2021. Thank you for coming to mark this special day with all of us here and all over the world. Dear 21Ds, today we celebrate your achievement of completing the most intense and global education in the world, the INSEAD MBA. And I'm happy and proud to say that you've been an outstanding class. Parents, partners, friends, you can really be proud of each and every one of our graduates today. As a faculty, I obviously have to give you some evidence of my claims of what makes the 21Ds special. So let me start. And we start with academics, which is a key part of the MBA journey, I can guarantee you. Just for parents, partners, and other financiers, students took about 85% of the coursework of a 2-year MBA in just 10 months. This is very intense. So a big thank you to also the INSEAD faculty staff, the PLDP coaches, for providing you an inspirational learning environment, for challenging your thinking, but also creating opportunities for you to learn from each other and test new behaviors on each other as leaders of this diverse and global pool. Second piece of evidence, what makes the 21Ds so special. Clearly, most of you were here for exploring new career opportunities. You have done so by actively running club events. Just to give a few examples, you've been running the Private Equity Conference, the INSEAD Women in Business Club ran their Empowerment Day Conference, and the Africa Club launched a webinar series around building a digital economy in Africa. And this is just what has happened in the last few months. Your 21D class has also beaten all previous records in terms of summer internships and summer projects. Congratulations on that. It's great evidence of your engagement despite the COVID challenges. I remember having seen a few of you in Fontainebleau in the summer. In the summer, seeing students in Fontainebleau is very rare, but this year you were there. I talked to some of you, and you were doing internships in London, remotely. So really, I appreciate your engagement and your use of your time and energy to enrich the journey all around the world. And I'm very happy for all those of you who have already found the next job that they're really passionate about. You as a class have actually beaten again all the records in terms of getting offers at this point in time as a D class, with more than 86% having already an offer. Okay, not yet accepted, I hear, but at least you have something in your pocket. Now, besides the career opportunities in corporate jobs, it is also that you have established a lot of ideas, and entrepreneurial ideas. This here is my third piece of evidence what makes the 21Ds very special. You've been very successful to create new ventures using your INSEAD network. You've not just dominated the current INSEAD venture competition, but also the one in the summer. And yes, it was open to other classes. Congratulations to Leticia Neves and Fernanda Nebreda. They have established a first prize winner of Segu, which is, in my words, a one-stop shop for car insurance services. And George Korakitis, who has partnered up with 21Js. And yes, he has created a business called RetroStar, a one-stop shop for energy retrofit. And Andre Morello, Marcelo Duarte, Lucas Zamprona have won the second prize this summer already for their business, Local. Congratulations. It's really a great job how you've been networking in your INSEAD community, within the 21Ds, with the others around you, to establish also these business relationships. But you have networked not just for business reasons, you have really established strong bonds. Early on in your program, Sean Neo passed away. I have witnessed how you have come together to support each other and also to recognize Sean's contribution to the community. This has shown me how your 21D network keeps memories alive. Actually, I'd like to say that it's more than a network. It has built very, very deep relationships. You have built these deep relationships that you can rely on in the coming years. I know, going forward, you will maintain and grow the many relationships you have built within the INSEAD community. I know you'll go to birthday parties, weddings, you'll become godmothers and godfathers of kids of your MBA friends. You will celebrate each other's successes, but I now also know they'll be there for each other in less glorious moments. Bonds established at INSEAD still do require work, but you've come to build an incredibly solid foundation to have a supportive, caring relationship network going forward. Let me end with my wishes for you. I truly hope that each and every one of you is graduating today, being richer in knowledge, ready to make a positive impact on the companies and people you'll be working with, but also being richer in friendships from around the globe. Good luck, class of 21D!
Wow, thank you so much for those inspiring words, Dean Payer. We also wanted to take this opportunity to thank you for not wearing your giraffe costume today, because this is a formal event. For those who don't know, Urs wore a giraffe costume every time he spoke to us on Zoom to keep our spirits high during the pandemic, and I personally was hoping that he'd wear it again today, but I understand why you didn't. Our next speaker is incredibly impressive. It is now our great pleasure to introduce you to the Dean of INSEAD, Ilyan Mihov. Professor Ilyan Mihov joined INSEAD in 1996 and was appointed Dean of INSEAD in 2013. He is concurrently the Rousing Chaired Professor of Economic and Business Transformation, and prior to his appointment as Dean, he served as Interim Dean and Deputy Dean for Faculty and Research. Professor Mihov has taught economics and econometrics in the MBA, EMBA, and PhD programs, as well as taught the Global Leadership Fellows Program of the World Economic Forum. He has been nominated several times as one of the best teachers in the MBA and EMBA and has won the Outstanding Teacher Award many times. Professor Mihov's research has been focused on topics related to monetary and fiscal policy, along with economic growth, with his papers appearing in academic journals not limited to the American Economic Review, Quarterly Journal of Economics, along with interviews for the BBC, CNBC Asia, Agence France Presse, Financial Times, and Dow Jones Newswire. Professor Mihov is a regular keynote speaker, lecturer, and panelist at events organized by Alstom, Bloomberg, BNP Paribas, Cartier, Deutsche Bank, Hewlett-Packard, KPMG, PwC, Swiss Re, WEF, and many other global organizations that many of us may be going to work for, but most likely not because we haven't found jobs yet. He holds a PhD from Princeton University, it's a great place, where his thesis supervisor was the one and only Ben Bernanke, with a Bachelor of Science in Business Administration from the Moore School of Business at the University of South Carolina, where he was recognized as a distinguished young alumnus. In 2018, he received the UN Women He for She Leader Award for his outstanding service and contributions towards gender equality at INSEAD. Professor Mihov is a board member in the Singapore Economic Development Board, Stewardship Asia Center, Singapore American School. An advocate of the potential of business to act as a force for good, he has been the academic director of the Hoffman Global Institute for Business and Society since its founding in 2018. In 2020, he was appointed to chair the board at the UN Principles for Responsible Management Education. So please help me welcome to the podium the Dean Ilyan Mihov.
I think that I have nothing to say. Everything has been said. Thank you for this introduction. It was, very, very detailed. Thank you. Well, dear family, friends, alumni, staff, and faculty, it is my pleasure to welcome you to the graduation ceremony for the class of 2021D of our MBA participants. Especially, I want to welcome all of you, our graduates. I want to extend a special welcome to our speaker, David Suddens. I'm not sure what's written in the brochure, but David is one of the most incredible, inspiring individuals. If you can catch him in Amsterdam or London and see what he's doing for women empowerment in sub-Saharan Africa, in war zones, you'll be amazed. So I hope that he talks a little bit about this. Of course, David is an INSEAD alumnus from the class of 1978. As I stand in this beautiful chateau here, in this beautiful ceremony, I also want to recognize all those of you who are in Singapore or you're dialing from around the world because you could not join us here in person. The most important message I want to give to our graduates today is that today is the beginning and not the end of your relationship with INSEAD, because you are the INSEAD of the future. A little bit about INSEAD. In the beginning, when we were opening this class in January, I promise that you'll have a year full of learning, full of a lot of academic experience, practice, but also you'll make friends for life. I know that you already feel this friendship, but later on you'll see even more how this friendship will develop, and as Urs said, will be with you for the rest of your life. INSEAD started here in the Château Fontainebleau in 1959, literally 20 meters away from where we are today, in a small room with 53 participants. It was launched by Georges Doriot, professor at Harvard Business School at the time, who wanted not only to bring management education to Europe, but also he viewed INSEAD as a way to promote peace and prosperity. From day one, INSEAD was an international school. To study at INSEAD in 1959, you had to speak French, German, and English. And not just say hello in these three languages, but to take a marketing course in French, economics in English, operations in German. And the reason for that was because he wanted to create a place where Europe will be uniting instead of dividing. Today, when we look back, we're thinking, well, Europe, peace and prosperity, it's done, tick that box. But in 1959, only 15 years after the end of the Second World War, it was not a given. Anybody who knows European history would know that before that, every 20 years, the Europeans were fighting with each other. Georges Doriot viewed INSEAD as a place where the Brits, the Germans, the French, the Italians, the Spaniards will get together, and instead of fighting with each other, we'll be building businesses together. Today, we have a much bigger task, and that is bring people like you from all over the world and not only deliver the best management education, but to promote peace and prosperity through this endeavor. The last 62 years for INSEAD have been very, very good. The school has been very successful. To be honest, it was really intimidating when I read the history of INSEAD and I was given to take over as a dean. We started the first one-year MBA, the first MBA outside of North America. We innovated in executive education, opened a campus in Singapore, in Abu Dhabi, now in hub in San Francisco. In 1967, we were one of the first schools to welcome female participants in our MBA classes. There's so many things that the school has done, and we should be, as an INSEAD community, very proud of what the school, our alumni, our students, our faculty have achieved. However, standing today, we all know that we are moving at a slow speed. We might be one of the best business schools, and probably we are the best business school, and maybe not even probably, but we are. But we are. But are we good enough to address the challenges that we're facing? Are we good enough to move at the speed at which we need to move? Today, you open the newspaper, you read about sustainability, you read about inequality, you read about the need of business to step forward and do something. When I was appointed in 2013 as Dean of INSEAD, issues like climate change, sustainability, economic inequality were not on the front pages of newspapers. And yet the challenges were there. The challenges related to environmental and climate change, social cohesion, populism, inequality, implications of technology for the future of work were all there. Now, we decided to step forward and to say we need to address these. We launched the idea that business has to be a force for good 7 years ago. We launched the Hoffman Global Institute for Business and Society in 2018 because there are too many of these challenges that need to be addressed through thought leadership and teaching. But to understand these challenges, we have to go back in time. And we have to understand what are we really facing today. 2,000 years ago, if you look at the world, people were not very wealthy. Everybody had some basic food, some basic shelter, clothing, and so on. For centuries, until 1800s, income per capita, standards of living did not change that much for the majority of the population. Lifespan was 30 to 40 years. In the beginning of the 19th century, the lifespan was about 42 years. Now, after that, the next 200 years saw a huge change in the material well-being of the world. Incomes increased 15 times in a matter of 200 years. The previous 18 centuries, 1.5 times. So we are privileged in witnessing all these changes, all this technology and phones and all this transmission and Zoom and whatnot. But we are fascinated by technology that also has other impact. In this fascination, we often ignore the costs associated with this ascent of the human race. First, environmental damage is pervasive. Second, when you think about the first industrial revolution in the 19th century, this industrial revolution could not be addressed with the existing social, economic, and political models. So the whole system started collapsing, and from this collapse, liberal democracies were born, but also communism was born, and fascism was born later on as ideology. So this technological revolution had also other things coming with it: wars, revolutions, famine, child labor. The Brits in the 19th century fought in 34 wars around the world, in South Africa, in New Zealand, in China, everywhere on this planet. Today, we look back and we say, you know what, our growth, our prosperity has also a cost to it, and we have to address it. But in fact, we have to be forward-looking, not only try to amend what has been done in the past, but we have to think what is coming ahead of us. The challenges posed to humankind in the 21st century by infotech and biotech are arguably much bigger than the challenges posed in the previous era by steam engines, electricity, and railroads, writes Yuval Harari in his book, 21 Lessons for the 21st Century. We know that technology is changing the ways that we do things in a very important and unprecedented way. There is a book by Professor Max Tegmark called Life 3.0 about artificial intelligence. It's probably the best book that I have read on this topic. And in this book, he describes possible scenarios. And they're very interesting, and some of them are very scary. But he ends the book by saying, what the world, what our life will look like depends on us. The future depends on you. How will we address this? Will we leave the markets to determine who wins and who loses, or will we try to be proactive in determining what is best for society? So business must be a force for good, and business as a force for good has two stories. The first one, which I have been telling since day one as a dean, is that business creates growth, creates jobs, and lifts people out of poverty. In 1980, In China, only 42 years ago, in China, there were 840 million people who lived below the extreme poverty line of $1.90 a day. 85% of the Chinese population lived in extreme poverty. Today, extreme poverty is eradicated in China. This is a miracle. This has never happened in the history of the world before. In the past 40 years, more than 1.3 billion people have been lifted out of poverty. How did it happen? It did not happen because of government subsidies, because of philanthropic giving, because of foreign developmental aid from the World Bank, but it happened because of one and only one thing, and that is economic growth. And the only engine of economic growth is business creation. Without business creation, you don't have growth, you don't have jobs. Unfortunately, this story gives us why we are here. We train all these people that generate growth, that generate business and so on. But it's not enough. It is not enough because we have been challenged in the last 20, 30 years. What is business doing for the rest of the society? What is business doing for the environment? So today we have to rewrite business as a force for good and assert that in the process of value creation for the company, we have to think, what do we create for the society and for the environment? And it is important to understand that what we have today are simply norms that we have accepted as given from above, and they are not. Like in the 1960s, a social norm said that only men can go to business schools. This outdated norm had to be challenged and had to be eradicated so that we have a better world today. In the same way, 50 years from now, people will look back and say, how could they live with these norms and take everything there for granted? So we have to rewrite these social norms. We have to rewrite a new social contract. We know the change is coming. We know that more and more companies are trying to integrate performance with progress. More and more young people like you care about this. But there is an urgency to act today because we continue to create imbalances between nature and humans. We're creating deeper imbalances between rich and poor. Imbalances between men and women persist. And we're creating imbalances between our current generation and the future. So the question from me to you and to us, all of us here in this room and on Zoom, do we want to be at the vanguard of this change, shape the world, or do we want to be a bystander and leave it to whatever happens out there? And it's not an abstract we, it is actually we, all of us here. So I want to end with 3 requests to you as our graduating class of 2021D. First, there are a lot of challenges out there, but see them as opportunities. See that sometimes when we lose and we fail, actually it's an opportunity to learn. As Nelson Mandela said, I never lose. I win or I learn. In March 2016, AlphaGo, the computer program designed by Google's DeepMind, managed to beat one of the world's leading masters of the Asian game of Go. Lee Sedol lost 4 out of 5 games. In Game 2, the computer, AlphaGo, played what is known now as Move 37. And the computer played in a way that surprised all experts out there. They were saying it's a 1 in 10,000 probability move. In Game 4, after losing the first 3 games, Lee Sedol was behind the game until he played his Move 78. Commentators were shocked. It's one of these 1 in 10,000 probability moves. Lee Sedol won. Later, during the interview, he said that he was actually inspired by the move of the computer, by Move 37. We assume that artificial intelligence will challenge us in a way that will not be able to respond. Human mind, however, has unbelievable capacity to learn and innovate. So my first request is actually be inspired by these challenges and address them. Find your Move 78. Second, if INSEAD is the business school for the world, and we know that we are the business school for the world, I must ask each one of you to determine how you will make INSEAD your own. How will you contribute to the mission of business as a force for good? We are a different business school. mission-driven with very strong values. The third thing is that today is the beginning and not the end of your INSEAD journey. I'm asking you to become true ambassadors for INSEAD and for all that we represent in the world. INSEAD is about inclusion, diversity, tolerance, friendships. While governments are building walls, we need to build bridges. So going forward, let us continue to champion the diversity that we experience in this room. For diversity is the key to strengthening individuals, businesses, institutions, and society. We want to continue with our DNA of promoting business and peace and prosperity for every individual, community, and country in the world. We are very proud that you decided to earn your MBA at INSEAD. I have no doubt that the MBA class of 2021 will change our world for the better and contribute much to the prominence of our alumni in our school, which now you can call your own. The world is facing incredible challenges. You acquired the knowledge, the tools, the skills, the networks to turn these challenges into opportunities. You'll be facing an uphill battle, but you have to win because you are INSEAD. You are not alumni now. You are our partners in this magical journey called INSEAD. Congratulations, thank you, and good luck, amazing class of 2021D. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dean Mihov, for these powerful words. We all recognize that the business world is in dire need of a change towards greater social and environmental justice, and now comes the hard part of actually making sure that it happens. And as soon-to-be alumni, or as you say, partners, our role will be to hold INSEAD responsible for reaching its full potential as a leader. Today, almost all of us will be joining the amazing alumni community. I understand there's a few people who still need to take the CFP final out there. So for any alumni tuning in, thank you for the traditions you have built, and thank you especially for responding to our very out-of-the-blue LinkedIn messages begging you for a coffee chat. We promise to stop as soon as we all have jobs. It is now our great privilege to introduce you to our INSEAD alumni graduation speaker, Mr. David Suddens. And buckle up for another impressive bio here, folks. David spent the first 3 decades of his career in Europe's textile and clothing industry. After a decade with Courtaulds in various general management positions, he became first the CEO of John Crowther Group, where he led a management buyout, then CEO of DMC France, and then CEO of William Baird PLC. Leave some management roles for the rest of us, David. He then became a turnaround director and a member of the Institute for Turnaround. In 2002, he joined Doc Martens when it was 3 months from bankruptcy. David turned around Doc Martens and reestablished growth by broadening the product range, increasing penetration in Asia, and building its direct-to-consumer channels. While there, David was awarded Turnaround of the Year by the Institute for Turnaround. He was given a National Entrepreneur of the Year award by Ernst & Young, and he was named CEO of the Year by the Private Business Awards. He retired as CEO of Doc Martens in 2014 and became non-executive chairman. In 2015, as if that wasn't enough, he joined Vlisco Netherlands BV, a 175-year-old textile company whose main markets are in sub-Saharan Africa. Vlisco was also close to bankruptcy, but has since returned to health and is now leading various initiatives to support the UN's Sustainable Development Goals in Africa, with particular emphasis on gender equality, education, and responsible consumption and production. David graduated from INSEAD in 1978, and for the last 5 years has taught Turnaround as a guest speaker. Please help me welcome to the podium the David Suddens.
Notes, glasses, drink. Dean Mihov, Dean Peyer, staff of INSEAD, friends and families, and above all, of course, graduating students of 2021. Thank you very much for making my career sound almost successful. I can tell you a more mundane version. I came here 44 years ago. I learned a lot, not just because of the excellence of the teaching, but because I knew nothing. I knew nothing of management, education. I was a linguist. I went back to the industry I came from with a higher salary. I tried things, I made mistakes, I kept going, I got lucky. I'm still going, and I don't know when I'll stop and what the end will be, except dead, of course. But I've got no immediate plans in that respect. Before I forget why I'm here, congratulations to you all on your graduation. I just hope you're not expecting any advice on what to do next. I think it was Somerset Maugham who said, "The advice of the old is like the winter sun. It sheds some light but brings little warmth." And in the classes that I'm lucky enough to teach here, I give the advance warning that you're not to expect anything new or even interesting from me. I just teach banalities masquerading as common sense. Shall I tell you how to manage in uncertain times? You should laugh behind those masks that you're wearing. Managing in uncertain times is what you've been doing for the last 2 years. In fact, managing in uncertain times is what we've all been doing for the last 100 years. We predict many things with great certainty and get most of them completely wrong, not just in quantum, but in direction. And the things that really matter, the things that really end up changing our lives, we don't predict at all, except with hindsight. I suggest if you'd like a more lucid read of that phenomenon, you should read this morning's leader in this week's Economist. So what then can I tell you today? I have to admit that I hardly remember my own graduation ceremony. I do remember the cabaret that we put on, for which I wrote a song with my late friend from INSEAD, Patrick Turner, who eventually became a professor of INSEAD in Singapore. We wrote a song which was called "I'm an MBA and I'm okay." Not serious? I'm not sure we were very serious in those days. The prevailing ambition was to use INSEAD as a springboard for wealth and to be able to retire at 50. Well, I'm 25 years past that deadline, so that was a failed ambition. And in 1978, we were not told that we should go out into the global community as the new business leaders of the world and be a force for good. If that is now indeed your mission, does it not imply that over the last 43 years, my generation has left you with a messed up world? What were we? A force for greed? A force for selfishness? It seems now that clearing up our mess is urgent. And whether you like it or not, or feel ready or not, it falls on your shoulders. Do you have the answers? What interests me, and what I ask you in class, is how we manage when we just don't have the answers. And not enough time, certainly in the turnaround world, to find the answers. What do you do, Chief Executive, when you don't know? Do you admit it? Do you say, "I just don't know"? Is it too hard to admit that you don't know? Sometimes I meet my old colleagues from Dr. Martens and they tease me about the hard times we went through and what I used to say to them when I didn't know. I would say, "It doesn't feel right. Just do the right thing." And they say, "David, but we can't afford to do the right thing? I'd say it doesn't matter, just do it anyway. No, but David, you're not listening. We really can't afford to do the right thing. Well, if you really can't afford to do the right thing, then don't do it, right? But what's the next best thing that we can do, that we can afford? So we laugh about it. Did it help? Of course it didn't help. Maybe it set the right tone. So if you don't know and get things wrong, is there anything I can say that brings you clarity as you leave this place to find your way in the world? I remember that also 43 years ago we were looking for tablets of stone. We were always asking, what was the right answer? What happened next? You want clarity, I can only bring you doubt. The doubt that goes with the uncertainty about not knowing. And I wonder how you manage it. I wonder how you manage that doubt that can create deep fissures in your mind. So what qualities, I ask you, do you need to be the chief executives of the world? Vision, you will say. And I will respond, no. What about pragmatism? You will say, we need confidence. I will say, I think you actually need humility. You will say, we need tenacity. No, you need flexibility. You will say to me, what we need is facts. And I will respond, I think you need ideas. We must have numbers. No, you must have imagination. You say, I need to listen more. And I will say to you, no, you need to talk more. You know, I think that talking, the communication, is one of the underestimated requirements of chief executives in their role. And why I say that is because you will always find yourself in the place between what the business is today and what it might be. And describing what it might be needs creating a narrative that you then have to communicate. No, you have to sell. You have to sell your narrative to your shareholders and to your banks and to your colleagues and to your subordinates. And that requires the ability to communicate well, so that they will then all follow you up the hill like the Grand Old Duke of York, and then probably follow you all the way back down again, but they do need to follow you. You've been trained here to be the general managers, the chief executives of the future, and it's a role that has become more and more impossible. The complexity is the same, but patience is thinner. The pressures on you haven't changed, but the public scrutiny certainly has. You still have to manage the short term and the long term at the same time. Isn't that what makes management so hard? And isn't that precisely also what makes it so wonderful? What makes it the best job in the world? You still have to balance the competing demands of your stakeholders. Your employees want higher salaries, but your customers want lower prices. Are you going to give bigger dividends to your shareholders or invest more in your brands? Are you going to demand lower prices from your suppliers, or are you going to ask them that they improve the working conditions of their own employees? Are you going to increase the debt on your balance sheet, or are you going to avoid more risk? The management of these conflicting stakeholder pressures will never, ever go away, and nor will the management of uncertainty, and nor will the management of doubt. I can only suggest that you keep trying things, you make sure you have a plan B and a plan C, and that you never, ever give up. So how does this reflect on my own journey on this impossible road I'm describing to you? I studied modern languages at Cambridge, but my first job was running a bar. So I learned to drink. I must say I was very successful in that role. My second job was as an encyclopedia salesman. I thought there was money in education. Dean, if we'd met a long time ago, I could have saved you all the trouble. My third job was a safari guide in East Africa. Eventually, I thought I should stop messing about. I was, after all, a Cambridge graduate and was offered a job with Unilever in what was then called Third World Marketing. Third world, different times, same condescension. The job was in a suburb of Liverpool, and the salary was £2,000 per year. But I was also offered a job at the same salary selling textiles in Paris. So which was it to be for me? Liverpool or Paris? Well, what do you think that I chose? And it started a career in a declining industry with no top-line sales growth, weak margins, low capital turn, fierce competition from that third world. It was all very well for Michael Porter to write that you either need a cost-led strategy or a differentiation-led strategy. He hadn't worked in the textile industry. You needed both. INSEAD might have got me out of that, but it didn't. It just got me a higher salary in the same industry. And by the way, that happened to most of my friends of that promotion. Those friends who hoped to move from finance to marketing stayed in better paid finance jobs. The next decade saw me run some of Europe's biggest textile companies. Some were private equity backed, some family owned, some public. I did a management buyout, one of the earlier ones in the 80s, and we haven't got time for that story today. I worked all over Europe and visited most of the world. All of the companies I worked for and ran went bust, or disintegrated, or faded away. All of them. Every single one. I was meeting with pension fund managers at the end of my career with a public company. And at the end of the meeting, they said, "David, you've been in the industry a long time. How has it been?" I said, "Yes, next year I would have been in the industry for 30 years. I can remember one good year." And they said, "What are you?" "Yeah, yes, one good year. I remember it well. It was 1975. So I have another question for you. How long do you leave managers in a position of failure? Failure that comes from trying things and comes from making mistakes is a good thing because it can build confidence and trust, and it obviously gives experience. But leaving managers in a position of failure for too long undermines their self-confidence. They need to know what success looks and feels like. Otherwise, they become the managers who say, "That won't work because nothing works." In the textile industry, we got many of our far-sighted views wrong. I was interested in the price of oil as we dealt with synthetic fibers. In the 1970s, there was one certain fact, that by 2010, there would be no more oil under the Arabian desert. This wasn't a conjecture, this was a fact. It just happened, of course, to be completely and utterly wrong. Another view was that Japan would only ever be a source of cheap copies of Western products. And this was at a time when Japan was transforming polyester into silk, and when they were nurturing creative talents like Miyake and Yamamoto. So anyway, I got stuck in the textile industry, dying its slow death. But how do you change your career? Not with one big bound will you be free. Small steps at a time. So I decided to declare myself a turnaround specialist rather than a failed textile executive. This was the encyclopedia salesman at work. I joined a few panels, did one or two small jobs, and in 2002 I was offered the job to turn around Dr. Martens. Why did I accept at the age of 55? I asked my students that. Because you wanted to transform an iconic product that was part of the social fabric of the UK into an international brand, is the response I hear mostly. To which I replied, well, actually, no, that's not true. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it at all. I did it because I needed the money. And it turned out to be the best job I ever had late in my career. And so what worked at Dr. Martens? Inventing the Crocs shoe before Crocs, we did that. We called it the World Work shoe. It was better than Crocs, but we didn't have the money to launch it. Launching a social media platform after MySpace and before Facebook, we did that too. Didn't work either. We lost £500,000 in the attempt. What worked for 4 or 5 years, the only thing that worked for that period of time was constant cost reduction every year. When we thought we could never take any more cost out of that business, we took more cost out of that business. And then we did a collaboration with Yamamoto that started a strong recovery, and I said, now we accelerate. Now we open retail, you mentioned it, now we open e-commerce, and we grew at over 20% a year, and we didn't look back. When I joined in 2002, the bank debt was underwater for 20 million. The results for my first year was a 60 million loss on sales of 130 million. This year, Dr. Martens did an IPO in the London market and is valued today at just under £4 billion. Now, on that list of qualities needed of chief executives, I didn't mention resilience, nor creativity, nor good humour, nor the role of luck. When I left Dr. Martens, you've heard, I was offered another turnaround position in the Dutch business Flisco. And woe is me, it happened to be in textiles. I was not aware of that at the very, very beginning of the conversation. It's a 175-year-old business that sells printed cotton fabric to West and Central Africa. And so I'm back in textiles, I'm back in Africa, and hence the scholarship, the endowment I have made for African students. I think that Africa, my current company, can actually now be a force for good. So perhaps this is where I will end the career that I started all of those years ago. And people say to me, you must love your job to keep going for so long. And I say, what are you talking about? What has love got to do with it? I sack people for a living. Why do I keep going for so long? Because I said I would. Because I promised to see it through. Because actually I have a responsibility for now 2,500 employees in Europe and in Africa. I can't ask you to be the same. I can't and don't assume anything. I haven't yet in this speech ventured anywhere near work-life balance. We are all different. And your private life and the balance in your life can only be what your own hearts dictate and what makes your family and friends also content to be around you. Take care of yourselves is all I will venture. But you're here in this ceremony today, and you leave now as business leaders. It is you, like it or not, who have some huge tasks in front of you. I hand over to you the challenges that my generation has not fixed, and arguably that we have created. So, will you please stop the planet warming in the next 30 years? This is roughly the time span of your influence on world affairs, and the time that is left for us to fix the problem. Will you also find opportunity and employment for the millions of young Africans who will either transform their continent into an economic powerhouse or, heaven help us all? Will you at last ensure that women are on a par to men throughout the world in every culture and every company? And by the way, men, it is we men who rape women. How about telling our brothers and our friends, our fathers and our uncles to stop? And will you please harness the power of the internet for good and not for harm? Oh, and one more. Will you make sure that you stamp out corruption wherever you are, beginning in those hypocritical Western institutions who create the opportunity for crooks to steal and then hide and spend their money free of tax? That's all I want you to do. That's all for now. I know you can do it. If you're new, if not you, then who? Who else has the skills, the learning, the network, the drive? This is what your INSEAD degree has been for. I'm very happy that INSEAD has chosen to be a force for good, and that you have chosen INSEAD, and that you have succeeded at INSEAD. And that now each of you will push your own rock of Sisyphus up whatever mountain you have chosen and be proud to push that rock. I congratulate you once more, and I wish you all the luck in the world.
Wow, thank you so much. I knew that you were the king of turnarounds, but I didn't know that you were so funny, so thank you. That was great. It was really good. We're so impressed by your impact and can only hope that we live up to your legacy and walk in your shoes. So thank you again. We all know that teaching at INSEAD is no easy feat, which is why it is an immense honor to be nominated for the Best Faculty Teaching Awards. As many of you know, INSEAD was ranked the number one MBA program this year in the world. And some say it's because Harvard dropped out of the ranking, but we say it's because of our brilliant professors. The INSEAD MBA is incredibly diverse in nationality and intense in workload. And while we acknowledge that we have some ways to go in terms of diversity of race, class, sexuality, and gender, we are proud to have selected a professor that embodies our inclusive values that will ensure that the INSEAD of tomorrow maintains its position of ensuring that the business world of tomorrow reflects a more equitable and sustainable landscape. I don't know who these lucky professors are yet, but a part of me hopes that it's one of the professors who only taught on Zoom so that we can finally see if they have pants. And to our amazing professors, we thank you for your patience this year as we embarked on a radically transformative journey of self-discovery, which often included accidentally unmuting ourselves and accidentally disrupting class, while at the airport, while getting COVID tested, and for some, while sipping pina coladas in Bali. Thank you so much and please forgive us for all of this. We now invite our academic representatives to come to the stage and ask Manasvi Shrivasta and Jaime Rodriguez Trabajo to present the Best Faculty Teaching Awards.
Thank you, Laura. Dear families, friends, staff, faculty, alumni, and class of December 2021, we have been honored to have been your academic reps and serving you this past year. Today, it is our pleasure to announce the winners of the Faculty Teaching Awards for our class of December 2021. We will start with the Best Teaching Award for Fontainebleau core courses. The nominees are Professor Sharon Katz for the course of Financial Accounting, Professor Enrico Desidew for Uncertainty, Data, and Judgment, and Professor Gianpiero Petligeri for Business, Society, and Ethics. And the winner is Professor Enrico Destu for uncertainty, data, and judgment. Unfortunately, Professor Enrico could not be here with us today. He has sent us this video.
Dear Promotion 21D, dear families, INSEAD community, I'm extremely grateful and thankful to be here with you today for your graduation and to be here with a special role as an award winner. And I'm extremely thankful and touched for the nominations you have provided to me this year. Thank you again. In any case, I believe that a graduation is really focusing on you, on your accomplishments, and this is what you and your families are here to celebrate today. And I would like to share a little background about the 21D and their accomplishments. In fact, I met you all in January 2021, and we all went through an incredible year. And during the year, you really taught me how to be collaborative, cooperative, adaptive in a very difficult world. I'm very thankful for everything you have been able to demonstrate to yourself and to the entire INSEAD community. Potentially in this difficult year, you have developed special skills, and I really hope those special skills will be very valuable to do good in your future career. Thank you again, colleagues, promotion. I wish you all the best, and I really encourage the families to be very proud of you for the incredible accomplishments you have been able to obtain during those difficult times. Thank you. I'll join your incredible accomplishments and great celebrations. I hope to see you at the future reunions. Thank you and all the best.
Thank you, Enrico, for your words, and congratulations to you. So moving on now to the best core courses for Singapore. I'm sorry in advance for any likely mispronunciation of names and surnames. The nominees for core courses in Singapore are Antonio Fatas for Macroeconomics in Global Economy, Anil Gava for Uncertainty, Data and Judgment, Pushan Dat for Price and Markets, and Peter Jost for Financial Accounting. The winner is Antonio Fatas for Macroeconomics in the Global Economy. And as is going to be a trend, he's also not here, so we cannot be sure if he has pants or not, but he has sent us a video message that he will play now.
Class of 21D, thank you very much for this great honor. I can tell you that being recognized as a teacher in the MBA program is one of the most rewarding things that can happen to an INSEAD faculty. Now for me, this year was a special one. What a strange year. Now, if you recall, for those of you whom I taught, and apologies to everyone else, we all started on campus, face-to-face. Although not quite face-to-face, we all had to wear this mask for a while, as I'm sure many of you or all of you are wearing right now. And then after a while, after a couple of sessions, the Singapore government decided to call for heightened alert. Great name. So we had to all go back online, back to Zoom. Now I was at home trying to catch some of your expressions while looking at my screen, making sure that you were still there and I wasn't talking to myself. And I could see from your expressions as you were looking at many places that you were probably multitasking. And I'm sure while you were watching my lectures, you were also checking your Instagram feed, maybe chatting on WhatsApp, or some of you watching some good Netflix movie. Now, as you all know, when I teach online, I like to play around, and I like to use software, not just the usual boring Zoom. And I like pretending that I'm just like a gamer on Twitch. Well, but from your evaluations and this recognition, it seems that some of you also had fun during my class, and hopefully at the same time, not just enjoy the course, but also learn some macroeconomics. Now, I wish you all the best for the years ahead. Please stay in touch, and congratulations on your very well-deserved graduation. Thanks.
Thank you, Professor Antonio, for your words and congratulations. The nominees, we next move to the Fontainebleau core courses. The nominees for the best elective course, We next move to the Fontainebleau elective courses. The nominees for the Fontainebleau elective courses are Professor Michael Bicard for Technology, Innovation, and Strategy. Professor Wojtek Materka for Psychological Issues in Management. And again, Professor Enrique Desdu for Management Decision Making. And the winner is Professor Wojtek Materka for Psychological Issues in Management. We are delighted that Wojtek is here with us. We invite him to come to the stage to receive the award.
Thank you. This is truly an honor. Receiving this award marks a big cycle in my life, because 14 years ago, I was sitting where you're sitting, 2007D, I was just graduating. And it's, today I'm sharing this stage with such distinguished professors and nominated here. It's just such an honor. There was, 14 years ago, it also brings me a lot of joy, because 14 years ago, there was another professor here who really influenced me, Professor Giampiero Petrighieri, who was also nominated now. So I feel, this is a full cycle. Thank you, Giampiero, for your support and your love along the years in my journey here. I'm graduating again, it almost feels like that. Another person who was here 14 years ago was my wife, who I met here. INSEAD truly changes lives. Amy, thank you for supporting me along the way on my journey to become a teacher here. Speaking of teaching, we never teach alone. There is sometimes one of us gets the award, but there's a whole group of us always trying to make this work better. Professors Jennifer Petrighieri, Derek Disi, Sujin Jang, and my teaching coach, Annie Peshkan, thank you so much for helping me find my own voice in a classroom. I'm forever grateful. And Beatrice Demetre, the assistant who makes PIM run so smoothly, especially in a hybrid setting, which, by the way, isn't that easy to teach. Thank you for all the administration for supporting that as well. And finally, to you, 21Ds, thank you for staying with a lot of difficult questions I've asked you during PIM. And thank you for not rushing the answers. I hope that those questions will serve you well. And with time, you find your own questions worth dedicating your life to, and maybe company to share those questions with. I wish you that. That's what INSEAD has been for me. Thank you, congratulations, Godspeed, and farewell. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Professor, for your words and for being here in person. And last but not least, we are coming to the end with the best elective courses in Singapore. And the nominees are Andy Yap for Power and Politics, Atalay Atasu for Competitive Supply Chains, and Pierre Guillaume for Investment and Asset Management. And the winner for this category is Atalay Atasu for Competitive Supply Chains. And I especially want to congratulate him because this course was taught entirely on Zoom. and we all know how hard it is to teach on Zoom. So it's extra kudos for him. And as again, he's not here, but he has sent us a video that he will be played now. Thanks.
Good morning, good afternoon, friends in 21D. This is Atalay Atasu speaking. Although I'm not able to join you there today due to a teaching commitment that overlaps with the award ceremony, it is an absolute pleasure and a real honor to have been nominated for this teaching award. Thank you very much. When I was asked to prepare a speech and record one for this special occasion, I thought the best thing to do was to tell you a joke. And here it is. A guy walks into a pet store to adopt a monkey and sees 4 at different costs. One at $100, another at $500, a third one at $1,000, and finally the last one at $5,000. The guy curiously asks the owner where the difference comes from. The owner says the first one at $100 has no skill. It's an ordinary monkey. The one at $500 was owned by an analyst, so it is capable of performing tricks in Excel. How about the $1,000 one? The guy asks the owner. Well, the owner says, the previous owner of that monkey had an MBA. So this monkey is actually trained in Excel and can do wonderful things in PowerPoint to turn your spreadsheets into beautiful presentations. Well, that's interesting. How about the last one? The guy asks the owner. The owner says, well, to be honest, we have not seen him do anything special, but the others call him a professor. Well, thank you very much. Joking aside, I truly believe that good teaching comes with good company. Speaking to an engaging cohort that is ready to share the fun makes teaching a joy. And I thank you all for allowing me to share the fun with you in October, no matter how strange the hourly schedule was. I hope you will remember the stick and the triangle for the rest of your lives. Please do keep in touch, and thank you again.
Thank you, Atalay. I will definitely remember the triangle. For the rest of us, you don't know, take the course next time. And yeah, this concludes the Best Faculty Award ceremony. Congratulations to our nominees and winners. And we want to especially congratulate also all the faculty assistants and many other people that make this course possible. And you may never see, we don't know who they are probably, but yeah, without them, this would never been possible. Thank you, and we welcome back again the funny people on the stage.
Wow. Thank you, Manasvi and Jaime and the rest of our academic reps for presenting the awards. Congratulations to all the winners and to all the nominees. And now it's time to acknowledge the most glamorous position of all, Student Council. StuCo, as we like to call them, works closely with INSEAD and acts as a voice for the student body, which is not an easy task, even in a normal year. Now imagine that job in a year where you have COVID restrictions, online exams, negotiations with Sven about using the breakout rooms in the Executive MBA building. You tried your best on that one, guys. And scheduling a grad trip for 600 people. Thank goodness we were led by Jensen Choi and Margot Theocarides, who we invite to give their student address. Please join me in welcoming our Student Council co-presidents, Jensen and Margot, to the podium.
For the record, we are not co-presidents, but Igor and Saigoku are. All right. Dear Dean Ilian, Dean Urs, Masters of Ceremony, Haley and Laura, dear guest speaker, Mr. Suddens, dear family, friends, and partners, on behalf of the INSEAD MBA class of 21D, we would like to extend our warmest welcome to you. We would not have come this far without your continuous support and encouragement, so thank you for being here with us today on such an important day in our lives. Dear 21Ds, what a year this has been. Unlike the cohorts before us, we knowingly and willingly walked into a pandemic MBA with little idea of what this year would look like for us. We decided to take a leap of faith, to trust that INSEAD could offer us an enriching year of growth and learning despite the context. And I think it's safe to say that the wonderful teams at INSEAD have over-delivered on the trust that we placed in them. For many months, we were the only in-person MBA in Europe and even the United States. And yes, we had to eat quirky meals with awkward, socially distanced conversations during our lunch breaks. And yes, we had to get weekly PCR tests. And yes, we had to socialize in maximum groups of 8. But we knew we were privileged to live in a microcosm of learning and socializing. When we look back on this year of 2021, I believe each and every one of us can say, wow, we are so lucky to have been a part of the class of 21D. This year wasn't easy, though. We built resilience. We got dinged, and dinged again, and dinged again. And this year, we didn't have Freddie's ding bell to ring when those fateful, "we regret to inform you," emails came in day after day. Instead, we had each other and a €5 bottle of Franprix wine. We lost people dear to us this year, family, friends, and tragically one of our own. We learned to stick together and support each other through thick and thin. Even when 70% of the class was at home quarantining during those fateful 2 weeks at the end of January, we never felt alone. The few spared from the close contact list delivered food and flowers to the sick. We are a resilient and close MBA class. We are lucky to have each other.
And for us to achieve this growth and to capitalize on all the opportunities that INSEAD has to offer would not have been possible without a first-class support system. So thank you to the Dean's Office, Urs and his team, and the MBA Office, Sven and his team, for persisting with our noisy demands. We always meant them with love, although at times we may seem ungrateful. We would also like to thank the Student Life team, the Crisis Management team, and everyone in Campus Services, and of course Zeki, for sacrificing their time. For sacrificing their time and sanity to improve our MBA experience despite the uncertain times. And finally, we would also like to thank all the coaches and staff in CDC and the professors and teaching assistants in all the faculties. You have given us the foundation and shared with us your vision for a successful future after INSEAD and to be a force for good. And throughout this year, we complained a lot and we demanded a lot. And on behalf of the student body, we would like to thank you from the bottom of our hearts for putting up with us and for guiding us.
With incredible honor and pleasure, it has been this team's job as student council to the MBA class of 21D to support you. So we'd like to take a second to thank our INSEAD student council team for their tireless work they put into sorting online exams, electives and campus bidding, the various mixers and yearbook, the grad trip, to name just a few. So we'd love it if our student council INSEAD team could stand up so we can just thank you one more time. And as we now travel far and wide beyond Fontainebleau and Singapore, it is not your student council that has all the answers anymore, and in fact, we never did. It's now time to turn to one another, to our friends and to our families, to answer our next set of questions and to forge the next milestones after INSEAD. To end our speech, we'd like to share with you a little adaptation of Rudyard Kipling's If.
If you can keep your head when all around is losing theirs and blaming it on Sven. If you can trust yourself when all MBBs doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too. If you can connect on Zoom and keep your cameras on, or have an answer when being called upon. If you can quarantine and not make Netflix your master, nor get too drunk with drinking games. If you can resist FOMO and mute Telegram, or leave a group with zero shame. If you can bear the pain of doing PCRs every week, or being put as a close contact for 5 seconds of conversation. If you can meet with salmon and squid and treat the two just the same. If you can bear to order chicken blow, twisted by knaves to make a trap for false tacos. If you can force your brain and your lack of sleep to party after MSD and hold on when there's nothing left in you, except your will to say to them, hold my beer. If you can make one heap with your job applications and put under pressure with only one response, and lose and start again with yet another shot, and never breathe a word about your loss. If you can fill an unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of case prep or course evaluation, this is an INSEAD MBA and everything that's in it. And, which is more, you're now a graduate, my friends. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you again to our co-presidents, Jensen and Margot, for sharing your words of wisdom, and to the naive souls who overestimated what they would be able to deliver in leadership roles such as student council representatives and even club leaders. Thank you for your incredible contributions to our year at INSEAD, especially the INSEAD Halloween party that I think you worked on, the virtual VC trek, sorry, shout out to myself, the Environment and Business Club's Dirty Hippie Party. I think you worked on that one too. Oktoberfest. TMT Club's incredible speaker series throughout the year. And the Women in Business Club's beer circles where we all opened up and showed compassion. While the COVID-19 situation was difficult for everyone, it also brought us closer together. I never thought that I would meet soulmate friends, but week after week you all impressed me with your vulnerability, empathy, and compassion. When it came time to submit videos to be elected as graduation speaker, so many of you put yourselves out there and truly captured the essence of INSEAD, and we cannot thank you enough for your contributions. We're delighted that this honor went to Penelope Ginas Munera, and we would like to welcome her to join us to share her thoughts and insights. But before we leave the podium, to Penelope, we tried to write some jokes at her expense, but it was so hard to make jokes about someone who is known and loved by everyone in the class. So without further ado, Penelope.
Good morning to everyone, 21Ds, partners, families, faculty, and staff. My name is Penelope Ginas. I'm from Colombia, and I would like to welcome you here today. I could not be prouder to be up here addressing you as valedictorian in our graduation. Today marks the end of a chapter, and I face it with mixed feelings: relief, excitement, and sadness. In writing this speech, I reminisced about the year that is coming to a close and felt extremely fortunate. The 2 years leading up to INSEAD were tough ones for me. I unexpectedly lost my husband after spending 10 years together and found myself impossibly out of my depth, very uncertain about how I would make it to the other side. Those were dark months for me. I'm not alone in having experienced grief, of course. A lot of us have experienced pain, experienced loss, experienced hardship, many because of this pandemic. And it is only thanks to the support of our friends and families that we have managed to move forward, slowly blooming again. So thank you all for that. The Bantu people of Southern Africa have a philosophy known as Ubuntu. Among other things, it means I am because we are. It refers to the profound sense that we are human only through the humanity of others, that if we are to accomplish anything in this world, it will be due in equal measure to the work and achievement of others. So again, I am because we are. I think back to the day I decided to come to INSEAD. Empowered by my support system, I was determined to overcome my circumstances and transform myself into the best possible version of Penelope. There was definitely a sense of Ubuntu in how I managed to arrive here. I would certainly not be here if it weren't for friends and family that walk with me through every step of the way. So after writing between 50 and 500 versions of 7 different essays, going through that gloriously awkward series of video interviews, I was accepted to INSEAD. Me, that is, and another 600 of us. We started off bright-eyed, with an eagerness we had not felt since our undergraduate years. Very early into P0, when we joined 112 Telegram groups and received 360 messages per minute, we knew that we were in for a ride unlike any other. I was already beginning to feel the infamous imposter syndrome, So many questions popped up in my head. Would I fit in? Was it the right year to do an MBA? Ugh, so much uncertainty. But onwards we went. For some, our first days involved serving stay-home notice in Singapore, bending over backwards to adapt our plans to the ever-changing COVID rules, and meeting up with each other in maximum 8 people gatherings. In France, our campus was forced to shut down, and we couldn't even leave our houses at night. There was beauty in this. Unlike other cohorts, we were all stuck in one place, in the same place. And this brought us closer together, much closer, perhaps, than previous classes. It became evident that we had arrived somewhere unique, and we had also arrived at a unique time. As the daughter of an oil and gas expat who grew up in 8 different countries, I thought I was well accustomed to diversity. I didn't expect to be blown away by the diversity of the INSEAD community. I was wrong. From day one, we met new classmates from all continents, more than 70 countries. We're just missing someone from Antarctica, I think. We were so far away from anything familiar, surrounded by classmates from very different cultural backgrounds, but somehow I truly felt at home. We encountered the craziest life stories we had ever heard and connected with each other on levels we haven't previously imagined we could explore. We mingled at countless dinners, repeating our personal stories to everyone who cared to listen and to those who didn't. We had open conversations about sensitive topics like religion, like politics, with which everyone engaged with the intention to educate and to learn. I absolutely love how we acknowledged, embraced, and celebrated these differences between us through dozens of home-cooked meals where we channeled our inner chefs, tasting new dishes in hawker centers, or through events like our epic national weeks, the Oktoberfest, or the Israel Trek. We basked in the sun at boat parties on Singapore Bay and danced to Rue de Bois in chateaux in Fontainebleau, enjoying the feeling of being all in the same space. We felt free. We sang Wonderwall by Oasis as if it were the last song in the world and the only one that mattered. And to top it all off, we were one of the only schools to have in-person classes this year. Thank you, faculty, very much for that. We were immersed in an endless stream of assignments, surveys, and polls. It felt like we were being force-fed content so rapidly that some of us, perhaps, might have at some point wondered if we exaggerated our abilities in our admissions essays. How were we possibly going to keep it up? It was exciting, exhausting, exhilarating, amazing. But before INSEAD turned us into the best version of ourselves, it challenged us. I, for one, was impressed with the caliber of superstars I was studying with. Regardless of what unique skill or background we thought we might have, it was humbling to know that at INSEAD we inevitably met someone who spoke more languages, owned more passports, had substantially better music playing skills, was brilliant at maths, and at the same time was extremely fit, joined every trip, danced at every party, lived life to the fullest, and still performed in class. What were these people made of? In fact, our class has a world champion of dance, a neuroscience PhD, National League swimmers, karate black belts, a rocket engineer, and a professional piano player. As the year progressed, we moved past the honeymoon phase into connections much deeper and intimate that would not be normal in any other environment. In our coaching sessions, we realized we were vulnerable. In our day-to-day life, a lot of us discovered loneliness, sadness, and anxiety for the first time, and with that, the importance of mental health, and the learning that although we are perfectly flawed, collectively, we were better. And you know, it was hard. It was really hard, but that's where we grew the most. Much more than we did academically or professionally, I might add. Yes, the pace was intense, but everyone still found time to keep each other company, to help each other by bringing market supplies for those who were sick, and most importantly, to simply check in on each other, to study together, to case prep together. All of us from every single different corner of the world, pulling through, together. Achieving this incredible feat only through the help of others, in the true spirit of Ubuntu that once again naturally came to us. And then we lost Sean. We lost our classmate. It was a shocking and devastating experience for his family, friends, and classmates, and I can tell you that the space his passing left in us will never entirely heal. But the INSEAD community came powerfully alive to offer a flicker of light amongst all the sorrow we felt. Once again, we supported one another. We came closer than ever. We almost redefined the meaning of Ubuntu. I am because we are became we are because we are. To put it in other words, one of Sean's legacies is that he transformed the way we saw and supported ourselves. We will miss you, Sean. Here's to you. we were our own support network, not only our classmates, but the partners and families as well. Some partners quit their jobs and transformed their entire lives to sustain their loved one's MBA dream. Others Skyped at ungodly hours. And for some of us, new relationships were born at INSEAD, ones we didn't see coming. That was yet another thing that made this year even more magical. We made time for love, which means that we also made time for babies. Some newborns, some even adding to a family of 6. If we didn't have partners like you and family like you who supported us through 2021, who believed we were worth all we were dreaming of and more, would we even be here? And we're big dreamers. We want the best jobs at the world's most prestigious companies. Some of us seek unrivaled work-life balance or the highest paying salaries to quickly pay off our student loans. Others are committed to making the biggest impact on the communities around them, or to participating in the world's greatest playing fields for innovation. To achieve this, we have prepared like crazy for our interviews, putting our heart and soul into each process and envisioning ourselves at every role we apply to, refreshing our inboxes in hope for one email that we'll not read. Unfortunately, we will not be moving forward with your candidacy. Rejections were a humbling reminder that nothing would be handed to us. They just added to the pressing uncertainty. Were we not good enough? Had we chosen the wrong path? Why did everyone else have 20 offers on the table already? This made us more aware of our weaknesses, but also more sure of the value we have to add to this world. And since we could not have 48-hour days, we spread ourselves as thin as ever. Each day felt like a lifetime. I honestly can't believe how we managed to do everything we did. A lot of us have already begun to make our dreams a reality. Newly claimed confidence, belief in ourselves, and resilience have placed us all on the path to become better leaders than the ones we were in January. We are ready to generate meaning and purpose that lasts and extends beyond our own ecosystems, to embody INSEAD's mission and to go out into the world, making our business education a force for good. Whether in the years to come we are working as consultants, product managers, engineers, or entrepreneurs, in new cities we will call home, my hope is that we always remain as determined as ever to make the best version of ourselves. The best friends, the best family members, the best partners, the best teammates, the best parents. That we spread this feeling of togetherness. That we embody what we have learned this year. Common bonds within a group are more important than any individual argument and division within it. That there is a oneness to humanity. That we are all bound together in ways that are invisible to the eye. And that we achieve ourselves by sharing ourselves and caring for those around us. That I am because we are. As we step out into the real world, we must not forget the importance of taking this togetherness into our future, of not acting only for ourselves, but of seeing the greatest human value in those that put others first, like we did with each other this year. The world is becoming more complex, and there is a need for those who can stand in the thick of it and not be overwhelmed. We can be those people. We already are those people. I'm extremely proud to say that the leaders of tomorrow come from my school, from my class, from this room. I'm already looking forward to hearing your stories 5, 10, 20, and 50 years from now. When we look back, we will remember this as the year we became stronger as individuals and infinitely stronger as a group. Once again, Ubuntu. I am because we are. Once, I was because my husband was. Then, I only was because my family and friends were. And now, I am because we, the class of 21D, are. And that's the most important thing I learned at INSEAD. That's enough for me. What a ride, what a year, and what an honor to have shared it, all this journey with all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Penelope. I'm not crying. I just did a COVID test down here. It was the short lady stuff. Wow. So this has been a beautiful ceremony honoring the journey that we have all taken together, including those of you who are watching on Zoom. Again, we wish you were here. We feel you guys. And before we hand this over to Urs and Ilian for the rest of the ceremony, one quick question. Has anyone seen a rose gold vape?
I love that babe joke. Oh my gosh. Okay, so much to the relief of the administration and our parents, that concludes our portion of the ceremony, but I want to thank you all for listening to our bad jokes. Thank you, 21D, for being the class with the most combined student loan debt and job rejections. And thank you for singing Nico Bastoni at very inappropriate times. We're going to miss you. Thank you again.
And a big round of applause for Haley and Laura for managing us through this ceremony. Thank you so much. Now the time has come to recognize every 21D on their achievement on completing the INSEAD MBA. Before we walk the stage, let me thank those and congratulate those on the Dean's List. That is to shine among the 600 of you. That's the top 10%. So can I please show the Dean's List? You will need to read your name, and please stand up to be recognized when you see your name on the list. Congratulations to those on the Dean's List. Congratulations to all of you. Now, the Henry Ford Prize, which is not a car, is here to recognize the student with the overall highest GPA. And it is a great pleasure to bestow this honor of the Ford Prize on Jordan Lockhart. Please come forward. Jordan.
Thank you. This is very humbling. Perhaps just 3 quick thank yous. First, of course, to the team. Very little at INSEAD is achieved outside of a group. So, I really do see this award as a shared recognition of the stellar team that was E7 Group 5. Thank you. Thank you not only for being the best group that I could have asked for, but also some of the most brilliant people that I've ever met. Second, to the school, I feel extremely grateful that we've been able to share a largely in-person MBA experience this year when most other business schools around the world have been online. So a huge thank you to INSEAD, especially to the behind-the-scenes administration team, for the colossal amount of work that has gone into keeping things relatively normal in a very otherwise abnormal year. And then finally, to the faculty and the teaching assistants who curated this academic journey, the opportunity to learn from you has been so invaluable, and I'm sure I speak for all of us when I say how fortunate I feel to have had your support and your guidance. Thank you very much.
So now we come to the procession and to granting you your degrees. We're going to be starting in Singapore. We have graduates in Singapore, and they will receive the degree from Professor Roderick Schwab, who is the director of the PhD program. Once we have done the procession in Singapore, we will come back to Fontainebleau. So let me just, everyone who will be walking, pay attention for 1 minute, please. You will be walking up the stairs behind there. You come behind the scenes. Your name will be called. You walk across. You get your degree here. So we take a photo together. The camera will be roughly there. we look into the camera and we smile. From behind the mask, please. If you would like one without a mask, I'm happy to do photos with you afterwards at the reception, where we can do it outdoors in a safe environment. So please here, keep your masks on. And then you go behind the scenes and you verify and check your name once you're going out that way. Because of Corona, we have to make sure that we have a distance. So process is, please check your file afterwards when you're in the back. Is that okay? Don't open your sleeve because it may not be yours. Is that okay? Cheers. All right. Okay. Let's get started in Singapore. We set things up here.
Thank you, Urs. And first up, Tala Awes. Javier Ong Bonilla. Sira Charangchit-Pong. Abhishek Chatterjee. Luigi Davido. Karunan Ganasekaran. With distinction, Wayne Jiang. Effie Lee. Joanna Lee. Lily Lee. With distinction, Chloe Lim. Neo Lin. Helios Chen. Marcus Ung. Nicholas Ung. With distinction, Raffles Ung. Alexei Nogovitsyn. Sun Yang. Siddharth Suri. Dexter Tia. Huan Cheng. With distinction, Christian Sia. Tianchen Singh. Yu Jong Yi. And last but not least, Joyce Chow. Over to you, Fontainebleau.
Thank you, Jason. Okay, it's my pleasure to call the Fontainebleau first graduate, Tom Ackerman. Tony Adams with distinction. Temitope Aden Mosun. Tommy Adeola. Hanaf Agawal. Sonia Agbezoulon. Shashwat Agrawal with distinction. Hatem Ahmed. Daniel Algor. Mohamed Alam. Nino Alexander Alvarez Jaimes. Juan Camillo Amarillo Trivino. Alessandro Amaro. Alejandro Amaya. Avnish Anand. Vidyut Anand. Vinicia Andrew with distinction. Jad Antun with distinction. Santiago Arijubracht with distinction. Bavia Aurora. Ziyad Arabi. Murillo Gata Sartus. Sama Asali with distinction. Ibrahim Ayoub. Robin Baij. Sarah Mahmoud Badawi. Ikram Bahar. Sahil Bal. Suki Bakshi. Sébastien Balas. Barka Bansal with distinction. Luca Barone. Arthur Barrault. André Barros Melo. Nicolo Bastoni. Ana Luisa Bastos de Arruda Camargo. Zeina Baidoun. Jessica Bello Salguero. Matteo Belloni. Rafia Ben Abid. David Benito. Diana Berasha. Stefano Bergami. Emma Berridge. Daryl Best. Avijit Bhagwant. Ayush Surendra Bhatia. Kishan Bola. Benjamin Biscara with distinction. Lucas Blangero. Joël Bowie. Daniel Borracino. Tom Borges. Ahmed Boussad. Karim Bousseta. Mandy Elizabeth Kealikaumea Bowers with distinction. Will Boyce. Emanuele Bressan. Aliyah Brainat. Juan Pablo Brosset. Lachlan Brown. Saul Brownie. Graham Buchan. Alberto Buzzanca. Francesco Buzzi. Megan Calenda Easby. Adrian Camacho Fielding. Gustavo Campasi. Maria Campello. Beryl Seligman. Mario Chaloub. Kieran Chandler. Manasi Chaturvedi. Muki Chao. Filipa Chavez Silva. Leonardo Cheang. Stephen Chen with distinction. Johnny Chen. Miu Papawi Charchubundit. Anthony Chu. Su Teng Chia. Crystal Shi. Phuket Choi. Ripul Chopra. Vishaka Chopra. Richard Chouefati. Antoine Chouery. Jensen Choi. Melissa Christensen. Stephanie Chou. Thales Coelho. Mateus Brucius. Matt Coleman. Max Collin. Giorgio Contursi. Marc Kodai. Luke Corkery with distinction. Francesca Cox. Holly Cromer. Vedika Dabriwal. Nidao with distinction. Juliette de Bastard. Henri de Beneteau. Pedro Correa de Barros with distinction. Pablo de la Mata Navazzo. Benjamin Deotto. Paul Depanis-Passis. Aljo de Hungria. Alexis de Vienne. Letty Debenham. Héloïse Delage. Sanjay Delaporte. Ricardo Figueiredo. Gonzalo Diaz Fraga. Jifa Gabriel Dogbe. Jay Dongre with distinction. Joao Cardoso. Marcelo Duarte with distinction. Anya Dubash. Priyanj Dugar. Broderick Dittok. Benjamin Edner. Mario Georges Elhoyek. Sarah El Moussa. Mehdi El Moussaoui. Tarek El Torgoman. André Heller Contarato. Ahmed Zain El Mesalami. Rafik Esber. Karl Este. Valerie Evans. Ahmed Edzo. Olakusibe Famuyibo. Sean Michael Fernald. Lucas Ferreira Lopez. Nico Frayne Rexa. Desi Fou. Sherry Fou. Denise Vögelsang. Augustin Gaget. Kasek Galgal. Alessandro Gambarota. Alicia Garabedian. Marta Garcia Delgado. Laura Garcia Lopez. Rajat Garg. Naomi Gaeta. Cécile Gentil. Denitsa Georgieva. Sophie Gerhardt. Stefan Gilkens with distinction. Narel Jiménez Ferreira. César Jimeno. Vince Georges. Riccardo Giuliani. Angela Kathleen Go. Aina Goel with distinction. Agam Goel with distinction. Sahil Gohan. Benjamin Goking-Jok. Barbara Goto. Snigdha Gorana. Mouf Ghulam Hussein. Luis Goya. Carlos Gramunt. Leopold Grupp. Farnaz Ghulam Hussein. Nidhi Gulati. Laura Gunarso with distinction. Yutao Guo. Malvika Gupta. Raghav Gupta. Siddhant Gupta. Parth Gupta with distinction. Aditya Gupta with distinction. Ladislav Habinak. Alex Haj. Sophie Hall with distinction. Kevin Hammond. Karim Hamoud. Abdallah Hamouda. Su Han. Grace Han. Maha Hassanin. Shu Hattori. Jack Haynes. Wen He. Raymond Henein. Mike Henske. Alexander Hoffmann. Samuel Hockin. Isabel Holder. Kejia Hu with distinction. Cody Hunt. Diane Husni. Chimere Ibichozo. Nuozira Ibrahim. Eva Ilyas. Mohamed Ismaili.
Ilya Istsenko. Volodymyr Yurazov. Taras Ivanichin. Rohit Jain. Priyal Jalan. Priya Janartanam. Ria Jena. Felicia Jennings. Vic Juneja. Chairim Jung. Kenneth Jukiana. Krishna Kajaria. Musa Gankal. Saigoku Kanan with distinction. Alban Karila. Samira Kari. Shardul Katot. Christos Katsouris. Hansa Kaya. Alex Callaway. Joseph Kair. Joy Khalife with distinction. Deepika Karbanda. Latisha Qatar. Meha Kochar. Boki Kim. Lubanga Kisame. Luisa Kleber. Greta Clear with distinction. Arthur Knoll with distinction. Michelle Coe.
Andrew Kochergin. Dolapo Koku. Babour Komilov. George Korakitis with distinction. Anusha Kukreja. Victor Cooperfils. Tamuna Kouridze. Igor Kotagic. Mathieu Cussy. Andy Kwong. Mohamed Lalou. Geraldine Lai. Katrina Lai. Haitem Lamloum. Alessandro Landi. Jakob Langen. Flo Lapid. Frédéric Laurent. Marine Lecomte with distinction. David Lee. Jennifer Lee. Julien Lefebvre. Antoine Legrain. Noah Levy. Lei Li with distinction. Julia Lee. Vivienne Liao. Wen Long Lim with distinction. Ben Lin. Penelope Llenas. Jordan Lockhart with distinction. Lorenzo Loredan. Ignacio Lozano. James Liu. Stefan Lungu. Louis-Philippe Lucier. My pleasure to hand over to Eva.
Alex Ma. Alvaro Maestre. Suganda Mahajan. Praveg Mareshwari. Shruti Mareshwari. Joe Malik. Joe Manacero. Johan Manette. Rose Maples. Jean Paolo Maramaldo. Nicolas Mage. Rachel Martin with distinction. Greta Martinelli. Miguel Martinez. Ricardo Mathurin. Niklas Matson with distinction. Felipe McAllister. Laura McGuinness. Joseph Melfley. Margaret Melville. Ricardo Manoli. Max Metz. Dor Mezuman. Mangatha. Anjanya Mishra. Saurav Mishra. Charlie Mitchell. Daniel Mitchell-Tree. Vin Modi. Disha Mohapatra. Haley Moller with distinction. Elena Moneta. Camila Monteiro de Barros. Carlo Montinaro. Carlos Moru. Olivia Mott with distinction. Golna Mozaffari. Raymond Mrad. Madeleine Moulin. Ankita Mundra. Nick Murphy. Murad Muzah. Mizuki Nakano. Toro Nanami. Valentina Nanini. Ikramjit Narang. Arturo Nato. Thomas Norton. Joaquim Navajas Helguero. Christian Ndemba. Fernanda Nebreda Bello. Leticia Nieves. Fabio Nives. Owen Newton-Hill. Christian Engessan. Kali Nguyen. Alan Nguyen. Mansour Nyang. Philippos Nissim with distinction. Yazaman Nourouzi. Sarah Naughty. Noni Obidegu. Crystal Ann Obak. Pereira Ogandimu. Kemi Oganlesi. Valentine Ojogwu. Enrique Oliveira. Mazen Osman. Carlos Pacru Rodriguez. Francesco Pagani. Dodes Page with distinction. Michael Palan. Alberto Palacci. Nick Palermo. Marco Palecci. Jinsek Park. Nimesh Patel. Raphael Pavel. Julia Pedret with distinction. Betty. Leander Peters with distinction. Luis Pico. Nikita Pillay. Andrew Pence. Chloe Picatsit. Timothée Plante. Stella Pointeau. Brad Poirier. Joss Pral. Dimos Praskidis. Joe Prince with distinction. Filippo Principi. Sacha Pirandiuk. Thomas Salatis Parasalidis. Santiago Puente. Natalia Kigwa Marulanda. Kiara Raiki. Ajinkya Rajad Haya Aksha with distinction. Tara Ramdone. Vilas Rarota. Alexander Reis. Jérémy Rabou. Maria Reina. Xavier Riba Anglada with distinction. Raphael Selly with distinction. Sophia Ricci. Daniel René Rodriguez. Natalia Rodriguez Patino. Jaime Trobajo. Sheira Romero. Adam Ross. Julio Rossano. Nick Rowe. Rianne Rust. Raed Saab. Tanya Sani. Lynn Salamoun. Sandro Salerno. Hugo Salvo. Nisha Sambamurti. Manuel Sanabria Graciano with distinction. Clifford Sandon. Joaquim Christopher Alinea San Victores. Gibio Saka with distinction. Pavan Satyana Narayan. Andrew Sok Murai. Belinda Saunders. Jay Saxena with distinction. Leticia Schwab. Ernesto Segarra Sanchez Cutias. Laura Segura. Hitanshu Sethi. Asha Setil. Janil Shah. Carlos Shawa Calvo. Ankit Seth. Daniel Shu. Femke Sickler. Rodrigo Anais. Regiane Silva de Aguiar. Abby Singh. Akansha Singh. Vikrant Singh. Satvik Singhania. Prakasina with distinction. Stefan Syrizansky. Ferdinand Skogerum. Aaron Smith. Anna Sosnowska. Manasvi Srivastava with distinction. Shreya Srivastava. Neha Srivatsa. Bernardo Stegmaier. Patrick Stolk. Stanley Subiantoro. Max Suez with distinction. Julie Su. Briston Sullivan McAllister. Pirasa Supanan. Aditi Surana. Sean Swenson. Amit Swisser. Aki Takagawa. Dana Talmor. Johnston Tan. Christy Muki Tan. Glenn Tan. Lynette Tan. Tanvi Tandon. Ashrey Tandon. Paul Tang. Gerard Tell. Carleen Terha. Margot Julie Terocarides. Adam Tia. Su Mia Ting Ong. Nivedita Todi. Jet Torres. Ashutosh Tripathi. Maggie Tse. Hu Tseng. Ronald Tsui with distinction. Utkash. Michon von Ass. Frederik von der Westerlaken. Moritz von Vliet. Victor Varey. Alexander Julian Veach. Jacobo Vera. Cristina Vergara. Tarun Verma. William Weiss. Jagna Vij. Gisela Vives. Ferdi Assenstorff. Diane Wu. Sophie Wong. Mandy Wong. Ring Wong. Angela Wong with distinction. Ryan Wong. Zergua Wong. Piotr Wasilewski. Zhen Wen. Derek Wenger. Heis Wilbers. Sam Windsor with distinction. Lian Wu. Vivian Wu. Soyan Sylvia Sia. Hank Shu with distinction. Beverly Young. Howard Young. Jessica Shiyuan Young. Ramya Yara. Anne Yu. Jing Yu. Ola Zajak. Baktia Zaman. Lucas Zempronia. Juan Pablo Seguez. Olivia Boxing Zhang. Stella Zhang. Richelle Zeng. Yi Zhou. Manning Zhou. Matan Ziegel. Ming Zhuo. Kevin Tanzel. All right. The best for the end, Sergio Scala.
All right. Before we come to the official part of the end, which I will have to wake up your son, it was fantastic to be here. I don't know whether you can see or maybe the camera can show all of the clapping and everything, and he could sleep. Not a participant, a kid, huh? So really nice. Thank you. Well done. Well coached. Well maintained. I wanted to thank the team around Katja, Valerie, and the MBA team from Sven, as well as Student Life, as I said, for setting up all of the ceremony today. So please help me give them all a very, very big round of applause. And once we're done here, I would invite everyone to go this direction, your left, okay? Through the little passage there for the graduates to go to take a photo together. Okay, so take 15 minutes to get there, but get there. Otherwise, it's a small photo, okay? So please go there. On the way, all the guests, and obviously the graduates afterwards, can also go to a reception The reception is in a semi-open tent, so it's okay, it's airy. Still, as much as possible, keep distance and a mask on if you can. But there is some food and some, obviously, something to drink and toast with your graduates as well. So, can I now please ask the graduates to stand up? Can you please take your hats? And as you know, everything that goes up must come down, so beware. By the power vested in me, by the INSEAD faculty and the board, I hereby declare the MBA class of December 2021 officially graduated! Congratulations!
Jerusalema, ikhaya lami, ilondoloze, uhambe nami, zungangishilana. Jerusalema, ikhaya lami, ilondoloze, uhambe nami, zungangishilana. Dawo yami ayikholana, buso wami awukholana. Ilondoloze, zuhambe nami. Dawo yami ayikholana, buso wami awukholana. Ilondoloze, dawo yami ayikholana, buso wami awukholana. Ilondoloze, zuhambe nami. Dawo yami ayikholana, buso wami awukholana. Ilondoloze, zuhambe nami. Jerusalema, ikhaya lami, ilondoloze, uhambe nami, zungangishilana. Jerusalema, ikhaya lami, ilondoloze, uhambe nami, zungangishilana. Dawo yami ayikholana, buso wami awukholana. Ilondoloze,